She bathed her baby, fed him, dressed him up, and got him ready for bed, and then cried all night. This woman could be any of us.
I protect my peace like gold.
Hello YouTube, welcome to Nthombi. If you're new to this channel, my name is Nthombi. I'm a medical doctor and I'm also a mom, and I'm very passionate about mental health. And that's why in this video we're going to be talking about some of the changes that go on mentally after delivering your baby. And particularly, I will dive into baby blues and postpartum depression. So, and I want to say thank you to everybody who's returning to watch the videos, who's been consistent in following the channel. And even those who are new, you're very much welcome. So when a woman delivers, when she gives birth, her body goes through drastic hormonal changes. I mean, she goes through the biggest hormonal shift of her life. And these hormones don't only affect how her body looks, but they affect her thoughts, her mood, as well as her emotions and her mental well-being. And very few women feel safe to come out and speak about some of these changes that they go through. And so we're meant to believe that it's not as prevalent as it is. While it was fun to shoot from outdoors, the rains came and disturbed us. We had to pack up everything and come back into the house. So 80% of new moms experience baby blues. And these ones will usually have an onset of 2 to 3 days after you deliver, and they go on up to 2 weeks when they begin to subside. So baby blues, mood swings, feelings of sadness, having anxiety feelings, fatigue, loss of appetite, but they should subside within a period of two weeks. And baby blues usually come about as a result of this huge hormonal shift. And as opposed to postpartum depression does not have a prevalence of 80%. It's not rare, but it is there. And so it can also have a similar onset 2 to 3 days after delivery. And then the difference is that it goes on for over 2 months, for over 2 weeks, unlike baby blues that resolve after 2 weeks. Postpartum depression is characterized by feelings of anxiety as well, difficulties bonding with the baby, your baby. Moms also can experience difficulties taking care of themselves and taking care of their newborn, feelings of anger, feelings of frustrations here and there. And moms can also have these feelings of lack of interest in what used to previously interest them. And you find that whatever these changes they go through, they tend to affect their day-to-day activities. And so postpartum depression can also present itself with self-harm and also feelings of wanting to harm your baby. So postpartum is a complex of things that go on in this new mom. And so a lot of moms are afraid to come out and speak up about it, because remember, motherhood in our community is regarded as this sacrifice that you get to have, that you need to not complain, you just have to endure, you just have to shipikisha. But so because of how the society perceives it, most women are afraid to come out. Most women don't even come out. A few do even get to the point of accepting that, look here, there's a problem, and so I need to go and seek help. And now I'll speak a little bit about my own experience with postpartum depression. I think it was about 3 or 4 months after, when my baby was 3 or 4 months, when I discovered that I lost interest in things that I liked, and I was having problems getting out of bed. I just would be so overwhelmed, so tired. And I thought, well, it was because I was up all night feeding the baby, changing diapers. But then it persisted. And I would find myself having these bouts of anger and frustrations where I just I didn't feel like me. And then, unlike the typical postpartum depression, I never had symptoms of like wanting to harm myself or wanting to harm my baby. But I did though, have these dreams. I did have these dreams where I just felt I just would dream that my baby's so small and I'm gonna harm him. I'll probably break his arm as I change his sweaters, as I change his tops. I'll probably break his leg. And I think that was also part of my anxiety manifesting in my dreams. And I did have it. I used to feel very tired, like very emotionally tired. And I thought initially that it's because I'm breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is taking up a lot of my energy, and but the issues were actually deeper. And I remember, and looking back now, I do realize that these issues could have started much sooner, because from the time I delivered to like 3 weeks, I had a review at 3 weeks, and I had lost about, I believe, 7 kgs. And I remember my doctor, my doctor who delivered the baby was like, "Are you okay? What's going on? Why are you losing your weight this drastically? You look." I started to look sick, like really sick, like my eyes were beginning to sink in. So he was concerned, and I thought, I assured him that I'm okay, I'll be fine. It's just, the late nights and the breastfeeding. But then you can imagine from 3 weeks up into 3, 4 months when this problem persisted. And I think it was only when he was like 5 months when I discovered, like, I need to get help. And I remember telling my mom, like, Mom, I'm not okay. I am not okay. Like, I would come from work, feed the baby, and instantly just feel so overwhelmed. And I said, Mom, please take him away from me. I can't. I'm feeling so overwhelmed. And she would take him, and she would be looking like, Are you okay? And then finally I told her, I think I'm ready to seek help. I'm ready to seek help. So she said, Okay, go ahead. Let me know how it goes. I set up an appointment, and I went there, and this was not the gynae that delivered the baby. It was just the gynae I had during my antenatal period. And I remember waiting outside. I waited an hour to see her, and I go in, and she said, "Oh, how are you? How's the baby?" And I said, "Everything's okay. Baby's fine. He's healthy. We thank God he's thriving. But I have a problem." And she said, "What is it?" And I said, "Look, I've been feeling very sad lately. Nothing interests me. The only thing that gets me out of bed is looking at my baby who needs food." And so she was like, "Do you have a helper? Do you have a maid?" I said, "No, I don't have a maid." And she said, "Oh, you're tired, you're overwhelmed. The reason you're feeling like this is because you're physically tired, you're not sleeping well." And I sat down and I felt really disappointed. And I remember I was fighting back tears in that office. I wanted to cry and just let everything out, like, because I was in there. This whole consultation lasted something like less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes, she was ready to let me go and send me home. But, and mind you, she knew that I was also a medical doctor. So she had to have known that the reason I'm here is because I have some information on this condition, and that's why I'm here. But she didn't pay attention to me. She was very happy to send me away. She was quick to send me away. So, and I remember telling her, "Look, I'm really not well. I want you to write me something." And she said, "No, I can't write you something. It will seep into your milk, and I don't want that to happen. Since you're exclusively breastfeeding right now." And I thought, "Please, I need something. I need help." And she was like, "No, no, you'll be fine. Just find a maid, somebody to help you out, and you'll be okay." And I remember walking out of that office feeling so defeated, feeling like, how did my mother, how did her mothers, how did my cousins, my aunties, my grandparents, all of these women who've had babies, how did they feel? How did their communities support them after? Did they even come out to say that they were having these challenges? I felt the weight of all of the women in my family, in fact, even all the women that I've met in my life, like, how did they manage? So I came back home and I told Mom, like, it didn't go well. I'm very upset with her. I'll never go back there. She didn't pay me attention, and she didn't even write me a prescription. And Mom's like, "Okay, it's okay. We'll see what we can do." But I'll tell you, the thing that I learned from my own experience is that because of society's pressures on women to say you should not complain, you should endure it, very few women come out. And I'm one of the few people who was able to come out. And it's important for mothers to remember that when it comes to postpartum depression, what the symptoms that you're feeling, the symptoms that you're having, are not just emotional outbursts, emotional changes. Those are actual symptoms showing you that you need help. And and I've also come to know that when a woman seeks help, it doesn't show weakness. It doesn't show that she's failed. She's simply showing that she's brave. So it just simply means that you're brave to accept that you have this problem and to actually go and seek help. And that's why I think the reason of this video was for me to highlight some of the symptoms, the differences between baby blues and postpartum, and to also speak about some of the danger signs. And some of the danger signs, I'll very quickly highlight them. Is one, when you feel this deep sense of guilt that you're a bad mom, feelings of anxiety that are overwhelming, feelings of like you want to harm yourself and you want to harm the baby. Those ones are danger signs that you need to look out for, and you need to be wary of those. When you start feeling like that, it means that you need to go and seek help. It means that you need to speak to someone who can lead you to the right place where you can get a diagnosis and get yourself a prescription. So the encouraging message for me is that postpartum is not postpartum depression and baby blues are things that we do mothers will get to experience. And the important thing is that we should speak to one another, be open about your symptoms, and also be brave to accept and to seek help. Know that you will be fine on the other side. Sitting down and letting everything fester will actually make things worse. Shipikishaling will actually make things worse. Because you see, if you're having the danger signs of self harm, you might end up doing what? Or harming the baby, you might end up doing what? Losing your life. And so we've come to the end of the video. I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's continued to support me. New video, brand new video every Sunday at 18:30. Sorry. And so let's get interactive. Get in the comment section. Let me know how your motherhood experience has been. If you've had any issues, mental health issues, how did you get help? How did you come out? How did you realize that you had an issue? If you know someone, that's also fine. You can leave me a comment so that I know that I'm not alone, and the women out there, they're not alone, and at least we have each other. And please don't forget to share this video with the women in your circle, whoever you would love to share it with. And do continue to watch my videos. It's very supportive. I appreciate that. And thank you. Bye.